What does expanding brackets mean in algebra, and how on earth do we work them out? Find out in today's video. What is going on, guys? This is Mr. Ryan Shooting It, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video we are going to learn how to expand brackets in algebra. So before we even begin this video, you're probably sat here wondering what on earth expanding brackets means, and it's quite simple really. You multiply what's ever inside of the bracket by what is outside of the bracket, so then we can remove the brackets altogether and make one equation by collecting all of the like terms. That might sound a little bit confusing, but when we do a couple of examples, I'm sure you guys will understand it in no time. Now, there are three kinds of bracket questions that you can get asked in your exams at school in most cases. These are single brackets, double brackets, and triple brackets. But for today's video, to keep things simple, as this video will be extremely long, we are going to focus on single brackets. So now that you understand what we're doing in today's video, I think we should get on straight away to an example. So on the screen in front of you, I'm going to write the following equation. So outside of the bracket, I'm going to write the number 2. And then I'm going to open some brackets and I'm going to write the following inside the brackets. We've got 2x plus 3, and then we're going to close the brackets again. And that is going to be our equation. Now you're probably looking at that equation thinking, what on earth is going on? I've got no idea where to begin. But don't worry, Mr. Ryan is here to help, and we're going to conquer this together. So if you remember the definition of expanding brackets is where we multiply everything that's inside of the bracket by whatever is outside of the bracket. And that is exactly what we're going to do in this example. So first of all, as you can see, we've got 2x inside the bracket and we've got 2 outside the bracket. That's what we're going to focus on first. And I'm going to multiply 2x by 2. And if you guys already know from previous videos, you should get the answer of 4x. Then afterwards, we need to do 2 times plus 3. Now the reason we need to do this is because we've got times everything inside of the bracket by what's outside the bracket. If you remember, we've already done the 2x, which has become 4x, and now we need to do 2 times plus 3, which equals plus 6, and that will get you our final answer of 4x plus 6. So as you can see, guys, it's actually not that difficult. You just need to take a little bit of time to practice it, and that's exactly what we're going to do with this little quiz. So on the screen in front of you, Mr. Ryan Jr. is going to write the following equation. We've got 5 outside the bracket, and then we've got 3y plus 4 inside of the bracket. And then we're going to close our bracket, and that is going to be our equation. And if you guys were paying attention, which I'm sure you all were, you would have got the answer of 15y plus 20. Now there are still a couple of types of examples that we do need to go through, however. Now these aren't as difficult as such, they're just as easy, but it's just so you guys don't miss any tricks when it comes to your tests at school. So without further ado, let's get on to the second example of another type of single bracket. So on the screen in front of you for the next example, we have the following equation. We've got 4 outside of the bracket, we've then got 6x inside of the bracket and minus 3 inside of the bracket also, and then we're going to close our brackets, and that's going to be our next equation. So what you've probably noticed that's slightly different with this example is one of the numbers inside of the bracket are actually a minus number. And people sometimes get confused of how to work these out and often make very simple mistakes when it comes to like tests and worksheets at school. But I've got you covered, so I'm going to explain how it works so you never make this mistake again. So for the first part of this equation, we already know what to do. We simply multiply the 6 by the 4, which is outside of the bracket, and we are going to get 24x. But it's the next number that's a little bit trickier. So the next number we need to deal with is the minus 3. And we need to do 4 times minus 3. Now, a lot of people actually just simply put the answer of plus 12 and just leave it as that. But we've got to be careful because there's a special rule when multiplying a plus number and a minus number. When you multiply a plus number, which in this case is 4, and the minus number, which in this case is 3, it will always become a minus number. So when we do 4 times minus 3, it becomes minus 12, 12, and then that will be your final number, and then your equation altogether should be 24x minus 12. So now that you understand a little bit how the ones with minus numbers works, I think you guys know what time it is. I think we need to do another little quiz. So, up next we have the following equation that Mr. Ryan Jr. is going to write for today's quiz, which is as follows. We have got 6 outside of the bracket. We have then got 5y inside of the bracket, then minus 2 inside of the bracket. Let's see if you guys can do this. And if you guys were paying attention, which I'm sure you all were, you would have got 30y minus 12. So we've still got another type of equation that we actually need to work out, because there is actually a possibility that there can be a letter outside of the bracket. So what happens then? So you probably noticed a nice change of scenery. This is because we're recording on a completely different day, basically the next day, and it's raining again. So it's gone from really, really sunny to really, really rainy. Fun times. Anyway, for our next example, we've got the following equation. We've got y outside the bracket, then inside of the bracket we've got y plus 4. So in order to work this out, it's actually fairly simple. So as you can see, we've got a y outside of the bracket, and we've got to times everything inside of the bracket by y. So let's start with y times y. So this is the bit that most people find tricky, but it's actually really simple. It just becomes y squared, and then we're just going to put that as our first part of the equation for our answer. Then the second part is even simpler. We simply just times the 4 by y, and that becomes 4y. So our final answer will be y squared plus 4y. Anyway guys, you know the drill. It's time for another quiz. So for the next question, we have got the following equation. We've got a outside of the bracket, then we've got a plus 6 inside of the bracket. And I'm sure you guys got that right. The answer is a squared plus 6a. Now we finally got to the point in the video where we can do the grand finale quiz. And in today's grand finale quiz, Mr. Ryan Jr. is going to put, let's say, 6 equations for you guys to solve on the screen, since there's lots to cover. And your guys' job is to work out how to expand each equation. So without further ado, let's do this. And if you guys were able to get all those questions correct, then congratulations, you are now officially expanding brackets masters. Anyway, that is actually it for today's video. Well done if you managed to get through that, because I know that was quite a big topic. But don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace out.